Welcome to Dallas City in Texas once again as we conclude our tour here with Pastor Samson Muniu, who heads Victory Chapel that has been in existence since December 2011.
The Lord has been gracious to us. We started a DoubleTree hotel, then moved to a warehouse, a warehouse right not far from here. And then we moved again to the church called The Rock. They hosted us for 2 years. After we had purchased this property and we were working on it, then when we finished, we moved in here. That was last year in May. So it's been a work in progress. Right now we are slightly over 180 and we give God thanks.
180 members?
Yes. If we include children, in total, if we include children and the youth and everybody, we are about 320.
Although Kenyans form the bulk of the congregation, Pastor Muniu says that he loves to refer to the Victory Chapel as a diaspora church because the church's mission is global.
We do have people from Tanzania, Rwanda, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Nigeria, among other nations. So our vision is not geared towards Kenyans. Our vision is global. The mission, the church's mission is global. The scripture says, go ye into all the world. And in fact, right now we are on a transition. We are adjusting our mission statement so that we are all inclusive. Even the way we run our service, we've separated the English service and the Swahili service so that whoever wants to do a Swahili service, they can come early and do the 9 o'clock service. But then the 11 o'clock service is geared towards everybody, Caucasian, Hispanics, Africans, all over.
According to Pastor Muniu, the church in diaspora serves more than one purpose. Other than just giving people an opportunity to come and be ministered unto and be refreshed and renewed, it also serves as a community center where people can interact.
People work the whole week and they look forward to come on Sunday and connect with their friends, connect with the larger Kenyan community. And there's a lot that happened. Like you would see immediately after service, we do provide a tea fellowship. People are taking tea, but it's not just tea they drink, it is the bonding that takes place. They communicate, they catch up. That's why people advertise jobs and opportunities for business and all that. So it's a very important part of our worship. Even though it's tea and fellowship, it's part of our worship. And it keeps people going. Being abroad can be lonely, especially if someone is a student or it's a new family that has moved into the US. It can be challenging when you're settling. And so coming to church, you get connected, you get to know what is where and how to get what. And that's our service, an additional service to the community.
It's a beautiful thing because, we grew up back home in Kenya, cherishing the values of being a Christian. And when I moved, the first thing to do, even when I was in the north, in DC and Maryland area, I was still going to a church. And I came in, the first thing we did with my family was to, by the way, I have a wife and 3 children. I and Kiambi and my 3 children. The main thing that we needed was to have a church that takes care of the little ones, the programs that are very good for the little ones here. We found a church in Victory Chapel. It's been 2 years now and we love every bit of it. We have a great pastor here in Pastor Muniu and we love great things here.
Children are a blessing. We thank you for this blessing. You are the giver of life and you've given them this baby.
The Kenyan pastor told Daring Abroad that it is in this spirit of community nourishment and brotherhood that Victory Chapel helps new immigrants to the US to settle down and feel comfortable being miles and miles away from home.
So we used to have this class that we would call America 101. We would teach people how to apply for a job. Some people would come, they don't know how to use a computer. So we'd give them an introduction, how to build a credit history, how not to apply for every credit card. So it was a nice package class. But with time, the population has increased, and so they're able to get these this knowledge some other place. But still, we do, beside the Sunday worship, there's counseling. The U.S., there's a lot of pressure being abroad. So there's marital counseling, premarital counseling, couples in crisis, and sometimes just stress, doing 2 or so jobs and raising kids in a new culture, and some kids could be rebelling, and it gives a lot of pressure to parents. So we do provide counseling in the course of the week.
Recently on Daring Abroad, we featured Upendo Church in Dallas, headed by Pastor Shadrach Ruto. Pastor Muniu was a member here and is among those who were mentored and later formed other churches, hence spreading the influence of Kenyans here in Dallas when it comes to spiritual matters.
Took a job as a youth pastor, did that for 4 years at Upendo Baptist.
Upendo was the first church, Kenyan church in Metroplex. But now we have probably more than 30 Kenyan churches. And each one of those churches either have a pastor who was formerly at Upendo, or the members are former members of Upendo. The 2 big churches are Victory and Neema.
Father, just as you are in me and I am in you, may they also be in us, so that the world may believe that you have sent me.
Back to Pastor Muniu's roots, and his journey is traced back to his ministry work at Egerton University in Kenya.
And I served for 4 years as student pastor. Part of what we did with the expansion of Egerton starting town campus, we also wanted to expand chaplaincy services from Njoro to Nakuru town. And being a Nakuru born, I was well placed to spearhead or to be among those doing that work in Nakuru. So although I lived and worked in Egerton, part of my work was in Nakuru town. And so the last 1.5 years, I was fully stationed in Egerton.
It so happened that the then Chancellor, the late Bethwel Kiplagat, wanted to bring new developments to the institution, and it meant that everybody had to step up.
So we got new orders that everybody should climb higher. So if you are a PhD, you should publish. If you are a lecturer but you only have a master's, you ought to go for PhD. If you had a diploma, you had to get a degree, a bachelor's degree. So we in the chaplaincy, we thought this is for everybody else except us. Until one day, the dean of students called me and said, you need to upgrade also. So I was like, I will enroll here in Egerton and do a master's in counseling, which I did. But I didn't start the classes, because when I told our leadership team I'll be a student and at the same time pastoring the students, they were like, everybody in this board has gone abroad to study, why not you?
Pastor Muniu rose up to the challenge and applied for a scholarship to study in the US. God's favor was upon him and he was able to get a full scholarship. He flew to the US in 2004.
I went to Southern Methodist University and graduated with a master's in divinity studies. And the plan was to go back to Egerton. But something happened in the process. I thought to just finish my studies and go for my doctorate. But before I would transition to that, a job opening came up, and I took a job as a youth pastor. Did that for 4 years at Upendo Baptist. Yes. So I served right here in Dallas. Then my family moved to Wichita Falls, Texas, because my wife was going to nursing school there. It was while I was there that I sensed the Lord leading me to come back to Dallas and start this work.
To you, Jesus, I give myself away. So you.
And Pastor Muniu has not forgotten about his native country.
I do mission work there. I have children home that we support. So that necessitates my trips to Kenya. In fact, I'm leaving tomorrow for London. We have a speaking engagement there. We'll be ministering in London and then go to Nairobi, Deliverance Church Donholm. We have a 7-day conference with Pastor Matthew Wambua. And then I have, that will be June 10th to June 17th. Then I will also speak in Mombasa and in Nakuru again before turning back to come. So June is gone.
This is Pastor Muniu's parting shot to anyone wishing to dare abroad on our Diaspora Bite as we conclude the show.
The good thing about going abroad is that people that were locked out with our system, 844 system, where the universities could only take, just a small number. I've seen people even who were disqualified, they didn't get that C+. When they come here, through the community college, into the universities, they've earned degrees. I know people who are now PhD holders that back home they've been told, you didn't pass because you didn't get C+, 62 points then, it used to be 67, 68. This nation offers opportunities.